Wow. If you are a Cleveland Browns fans, wow. What a draft weekend. The Cleveland Browns may have just pulled off one of the most intriguing draft classes in recent memory. If you're watching this live, guys, drop your favorite pick in the chat below. We're about to break down every move, starting with the blockbuster trade at number 2. This draft has a lot of future starters in it, upswings, and one of the most talked about quarterback picks of the year. Guys, let's get into it. But first, let's address the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the Browns trade out of the number 2 spot. They passed on Travis Hunter, a two-way phenomenon. And look, that decision is going to be under a microscope for many, many years to come. But they only moved back 3 spots to pick up additional draft capital and still got one of the best defensive players in the NFL draft. So let's talk about what they did, not just why they did it. So guys, with the 5th overall pick, the Cleveland Browns took Mason Graham, the dominant defensive tackle from Michigan. This guy is an absolute wrecking ball in the trenches. He is strong, he has quick hands, and he has a relentless motor. Oh, by the way, he's a culture fit as well. Graham just isn't flashy, but he's going to be a tone setter inside. And when you pass on somebody like Hunter, you better hit. And I think they did it here. Day 1, they get a B+ grade, not because of the player, because of what they passed on. Now, I understand a lot of people loved Travis Hunter. I was not a huge Travis Hunter fan. I said, hey, you need to pick one side or the other. But at the end of the day, I got to give him a B+. Moving on to day 2, picks 33 and 36. They drafted running back Judkins and linebacker Schwessinger, right? I'm terrible at like name guys, but early day 2 picks back to back. At number 33, they did grab Carson from UCLA. This is a smart, rangy linebacker with leadership qualities. When I watched the film, he screamed leader on the field. This guy is going to be wearing a lot of green dots on the defense sooner than later. He is a total future Captain Vibes about him. He just walks around with that swagger, with that it factor. Then at number 36, they picked up Judkins, the powerful back out of Ohio State. When I was talking to Zen earlier today, he loved Judkins. He loved everything about him. I know it's early for a running back, right? But Judkins is a Nick Chubb type of runner. Low center of gravity, explosive through contact. If Nick Chubb is not 100% this season, or they don't sign him, Judkins could be that number 1, that RB1 come week 1. Now, round 3, picks 67 and 94. They drafted a tight end, Fanning Jr., and quarterback, Gabriel out of Oregon. Round 3 is more of a value picks, guys, right? Arnold Finnegan Jr., the tight end from Bowling Green, he's a bit undersized, but super athletic and great after catch. Think of an H-back type of weapon, Dallas Clark type of guy. He is more of a weapon than a traditional tight end 1. And then they took a shot on Dylan Gabriel, the experienced quarterback out of Oregon. He's a lefty, he's accurate, he's mobile, but not a huge arm. He's smart with the ball. At worst, he's a solid backup with upside. At best, maybe long-term starters if things break right. Now, round 4. Round 4 is one that raised my eyebrows. They drafted yet another running back, this time Dalen Sampson from Tennessee. He is an explosive change of pace and a third down type back written all over him. But here's the question. 2 running backs in the first 4 rounds. Why not go offensive tackle, wide receiver? Edge rushers are pretty thin. This is the real debate, and this is where their draft starts to break down. Sampson is good, but was it necessary? That's the real question. Then round number 5, pick 44, the pick heard all around the world, Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado. Now, this will be the most talked about pick the entire draft. Look, it's stunning that he fell this far. Let's just be honest. I thought he was going to be a top 10 pick because I thought NFL GMs get drunk on quarterbacks in the draft. Say what you want about the media hype. This kid can play. Watch the tape. He is poised, he is accurate, and he has that true alpha mentality. If the Browns can develop him, that's a key word. If the Browns can develop him, this could be the best value pick of the entire draft. Some are saying this is the best personal decision the Cleveland Browns have made in years, and I do not disagree. It's a win-win, low risk, potentially franchise-changing reward. So let's sum up the grades. Overall, I give the Cleveland Browns an A-. This was a bold, strategic, and full of potential draft. Now it's on to the coaching staff to develop it. All right, guys. So in the comments below, what do you think? Was passing on Travis Hunter the right call? Does Shedeur Sanders have a shot to start someday? Drop your takes in the comments below and hit that like button and be sure to hit that share as well. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Scroll back up here in the comments here. Shay says, Will Campbell to the Patriots. What's not to love about a big man? He would die to protect the quarterback. We'll be talking about the AFC East Thursday. Let's go sports. The Browns had a good draft till they drafted 2 quarterbacks in the 3rd and 5th round. Cleveland Clowns. So let's go sports. The Cleveland Browns now have 5 quarterbacks on the roster, right? They have Deshaun Watson. We don't know if he's ready to play, injured, whatever. I think he re-aggravated that Achilles back in December when he was doing a TikTok, whatever, yada, yada, yada. They have Joe Flacco, 43-year-old man, Super Bowl winning quarterback. They have Kenny Pickett, Super Bowl winning quarterback. Of course, they have rings, whatever. And then they drafted Gabriel and then, of course, Shedeur Sanders. What is wrong about adding depth in the quarterback room? What is wrong about that? Clearly, the Browns have not had a solid quarterback room since Baker Mayfield. Let's just be flat out honest. Since Baker Mayfield, since they shipped him away, yes, Deshaun Watson was supposed to be the man, the myth, the legend, but he hasn't done shit. Hell, you guys relied on Joe Flacco just to make the playoffs a couple years ago. Man, come on. James Frank says Mason, Graham, and Junkins. Junkins probably my favorite pick. Screw the trade. I feel like that kid that's just lost his dog. We done signed 2 running backs this draft, meaning Chip is most likely out. James, I know you are a huge Nick Chubb fan. Are you okay that Nick Chubb is out? Kind of like forcing him out per se? Or Wilder's in the chat. What's up, man? He said Junkins will be a starter. I am thinking we're on the same page, man. Like I think he will have an excellent camp. I think he will have even a better preseason. He will be sitting out week 3 preseason, the third game, and probably will be a week 1, if not a week 2 starter. 100%. Let's Go Sports says Junkins picks might be a reach and still a little early, but still a good pickup. Also, the linebacker they drafted 33 overall is a good, but he will probably be a hit or miss type of player. So Let's Go Sports. There are several positions that translate well from college into the NFL. One of them being wide receiver. Either you can run a route or you can't. Either you can get open or you can't. I don't care if you're playing SEC competition, Division III competition, JUCO competition. If it can translate from college into the NFL, wide receiver is it. The second position that is most transfusional position is a linebacking position. Either you can hit or you can't. Either you can cover or you can't. There is no teaching it. There is no molding it. Now, there's some technique stuff that you can teach, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But it's either you were a dog in college, going to more likely translate into NFL, or you're just not very, very good. But wide receiver and linebacker are the 2 positions I think that transcend very, very well into the NFL, and you can definitely get a nice, good view of what they're going to be in the NFL. James Frank says that linebacker means that Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is most likely out. Not to be back anytime soon if he comes back. Feenan's going to be a dog. So basically, the Browns have depth at every position except for wide receiver, what it comes down to. They have 2 or 3 good tight ends. They got 2 good running backs. They got 5 quarterbacks, and they have 1 decent receiver. Jerry Jeudy. Why did they not draft a wide receiver? I'm just saying. But James says, give my Browns an A, baby. give them an A minus, James. Giving them an A minus because I would like to see them got a wide receiver. I would like to see them got a wide receiver. Route says, I also stuttered. Glad to see you are on here like this. All good info. Stay confident. Don't let the haters hate. Hey, man, I've had a stutter literally my whole life. I have gone through the ups and downs and trials and tribulations. Stuttering is just a part of life. And honestly, going back and editing these videos and making them into clips onto YouTube helps my speech, because hearing yourself read back and like what gets you stuck and what doesn't definitely helps with the confidence, right? And confidence is a very big booster going into the real world, into job interviews, coaching, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I feel like once I start to get a little bit less confidence, the stutter comes out a hell of a lot more. Also when I get tired, but hey, it was what it. Old Man River
skin pun
says the Browns get a B+. Damn, man. Old Man River's not grading with the curve today at all. There is no curve for Old Man River. He is like, man, I'm a hard-ass, old-school motherfucker, and you ain't going to stop me. Damn, baby, damn. James Frank says, I don't understand the Gabriel pick. Could have gotten an offensive tackle or a wide receiver. I agree. Honestly, you probably should have drafted a wide receiver in that Gabriel pick. But hey, because we all knew that Shedeur Sanders was going to the Browns the whole time. We knew the draft day was going to come back around and Shedeur Sanders was going to go to the Cleveland Browns. Prickett is probably gone, says James. And James, I don't know. Because the Cleveland Browns can get out of the Deshaun Watson contract if they show that his Achilles is officially injured, and it was because he was not following protocol because of the whole TikTok thing of him dancing without his boot. They have a potential to get out of that, and then you have a 43-year-old Joe Flacco, and then you have Kenny Pickett, Gabriel, and then Shedeur Sanders. At some point during training camp, mini camp, preseason, a quarterback is going to go down. It just happens. It is what it is. It just happens. And when that happens, they're going to be calling Cleveland. Hey, what quarterback don't you like? Give me Gabriel for a 5th round pick. Give me Sanders for a sixth round pick, right? I think Kenny Pickett is on the roster as the emergency quarterback because they do have the 54-man roster now, air quotes there, with the emergency quarterback. So having more quarterbacks is valuable moving forward. Pepe is in the chat. What's up, Pepe? A long time no see. He says Shedeur's problem is personality, not character. He is just a rich kid. They take longer to grow up. Not wrong. Right? You can definitely tell kids, especially in like high school, right? You can tell when kids have had like a silver spoon in their mouth per se, and the kids that have worked their ass off just to get to school and get clothes on their back, right? Now, I'm not saying that the path to the NFL is any easier for anybody else, right? You still got to have work ethic. You still got to have skill. But with that silver spoon in your mouth, per se, it does get a little bit easier. You get elite of the elite training. You get to rub elbows with other NFL players. Because what Shedeur Sanders has been training with Tom Brady, right? He gets that opportunity. Somebody like a Will Howard doesn't get that opportunity, right? It's just like, but yes, you are correct. It takes rich kid, or what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't take well-off kids, medium-range households, and like above. It doesn't take them longer to develop. Just less fortunate kids they forced to grow up faster. So it is what it is. Old Man River says Gabriel, a former NFL quarterback. The man is like 20 to 29, like, isn't he, right? Real McCoy says the Browns will ruin any chance Sanders had at being any kind of a bright future. And this is where the Browns usually fail, right? actually, Real McCoy, this is where like a lot of teams struggle in the NFL in general, is right. When we see the success of a CJ Stroud, when we see a success of a Jaden Daniels, other coaches, other teams like around the league expect that to happen. They expect to see that player to the moon, baby. But the truth is, player development, especially at the quarterback realm and the old line, is NFL coaching is so key. Like I've said this time and time again, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs was a perfect fit. Andy Reid molded his offense to fit Patrick Mahomes' ability. Patrick Mahomes had that great coaching, had the ability. If Patrick Mahomes would have went to the Chicago Bears, he would have probably been deemed a bust. If he would have went somewhere like the Buffalo Bills, I'm not trying to trash the Buffalo Bills, but they would have not won back-to-back Super Bowls. If Josh Allen would have went to a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, we would be talking about Josh Allen as potentially one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Coaching is so key, and the Browns lack that. The Browns lack the player development access concept of them growing and being a great team. They just expect them to be great. Alpha Rob says, I don't know what the Browns are doing. Five quarterbacks. The Baker Mayfield curse lives on. Listen, they need to buy a goat and they need to slaughter that goat ASAP. They need to slaughter that goat ASAP. It is what it is. Alpha Rob, spot on. Curse, baby, curse. James, you are the folk leader of the curse. Go get your goat and take it to the games now. I believe it was your service or your service animal, right? But James says Flacco will be a mentor and probably start, but I think Shador will play at some point. Let me ask you this question. Let's talk about this logically here, okay? I do not think Joe Flacco will be a week one starter. I think Joe Flacco will be a third string backup quarterback his entire career, or not the entire career, but the whole NFL season. If he makes the roster. If Shador Sanders plays bad during the preseason, bad during OTAs, and Gabriel outshines him, but then Shador Sanders is named second string over Gabriel, what are we talking about then? Are we talking about just the name factor? Are we talking about potential? Like, how can you base off it? Because, like, I'm not saying Shador Sanders is a bad player. He had a very, very good college tape behind a terrible offensive line. I think Gabriel has more of an upside, though, but we'll see. Wilder says Sanders has a shot for sure. Pickett is his competition. They get an A- out of me. Hard to be an extra second rounder this year for a top 10 pick next year. Yeah, you are right. A-. I think we're on the same page. Old Man River says Sanders doesn't perform. He will be traded. Definitely went to 5 teams. I'm not for sure if you can trade Sanders, to be honest with you. Unless it's for a 5th rounder. I think that's what you meant. To the Dallas Cowboys, that'd be nice. Pepe says Shador's problem is personality, not character. He's a rich kid. They take longer to grow up. Let's Go Sports says because the second and third rounders are steals of the draft. The first rounders are for cheap. So why draft Gabriel? Who's not that good when they could have drafted Sanders from the start? Wasted pick. I honestly like what they did. But yes, drafting Gabriel was kind of a swing and a miss, right? Jersey Fishing says, when Shador gets to work, you won't be saying he needs to grow up anymore. There's a reason why his nickname is Grown. We will see. We will see once he gets away from his dad's shadow, his dad's limelight, what kind of work ethic that he actually has. I am excited to like see. I believe somebody, I think it was Old Man River said, hey, we need to have the Chicago Browns on Hard Knocks. I just want to see the QB1 just on the Cleveland Browns. Let's see what Shador's record is, right? James West says, you don't think it's silly to draft 2 quarterbacks in the 3rd and 5th round. You could tell Barry and Stefanski were not happy. You can tell they were not happy because they did not address the wide receiver need. They needed a wide receiver, and one of those picks could have gone to a wide receiver. Yes, you guys are exactly right. Pepe says the Browns might actually be becoming a competent organization. They have always drafted decent. They just can't develop players. That is their biggest that is their biggest issue. Is they cannot develop players. Jersey Efficient says yes, he and Dion went about pre-draft wrong, saying things like won't go to certain teams was a very cocky, and that's the problem. Shedor's play on the field is not the problem. I would say yes, the way they went about the pre-draft process, not throwing out the combine, not saying we're not going to go here, or here. Here are my ideal situations. I saw a article where he was late to the New York Giants interview. Yes, you have to be punctual. Even if you don't want to go to that team, you still have to be punctual, right? Because people talk. People talk. All personnel reasons with the Sanders. All personal reasons with Sanders. He has the tools. You guys are right. Let's Go Sports says, plus the Browns have cut two of those guys anyways. Why waste picks on them? Because they traded for KP. They won't lose the loot by cutting him. Flacco is like $8 million, and Watson is a lot of money. It is tough. It is tough. James Frank says, I'm okay with Chubb being out. I think they should shop Jerome Ford, cut Pierce Strong, and get Chuba back to play that mentor for these young guys. Bring that vet wisdom into the running back room along with Deuce Staley, the running back coach. I kind of like Jerome Ford, though. I think Jerome Ford might be your feature back come week 1, and then what's his face will take over week 2. Right? James Frank says they just signed free agent Deontay Johnson. Oh, good Lord. Why did they sign Deontay Johnson? Didn't they cut him like twice? No, that was the Houston Texans, right? Let's Go Sports says Cowboys actually had a really good draft. We'll be talking about the Cowboys on Wednesday. Let's not get too carried away. Man, you guys got a lot of comments. Thank you for that. Cooper says the Browns never had a timeline. I think the Browns were an auto draft mode. Like, wasn't that like the Saints meme going around? They left the room and they couldn't get back in the snake draft and the auto drafted. Mellow Mike, what's up, Mellow Mike? Long time no see. Take this scenario. You walk into a job interview and you make demands on your future boss. Think you're getting hired? Absolutely not. You're right, Mellow Mike. You are right, my man. Cooper says Shedor isn't the problem. The Browns have never developed a quarterback. They've been trying for 50 years. You're right. Baker Mayfield was the cream of the crop, but they're like, no, slow it down, baby. Justin Burtson's in the chat. What's up, Justin? He says Sanders is talented. His attitude is what sucks, but Dylan Gabriel is way better. Okay, man, I see you. We'll see you. We will see, right? OTA start next week, so we will see. Angel's in the chat. What's up, Angel? Long time no see. Pepe says, I think the nickname spelled grown. It comes from the sound his quarterback coach when he makes. Nice. I love that. That's grown. He's a grown-ass man. Justin says he played for his daddy and he gets everything handed to him. Yes and no. Yes and no. You still got to work for it at the end of the day, right? You still got to work for it at the end of the day. Let's Go Sports says the reason they had good players is because you get gems for being good going into the league. But they had so many top 5 first-round picks years, so they used to having those gems. The Cleveland Browns, that's tough. But that's true. Wilder says if Travis doesn't have a Malik Neighbors type of rookie year, TL might be in trouble. Trevor Lawrence is already on the hot seat. We'll be talking about Trevor Lawrence a lot coming up here. But let's move on